have his face?
Joe.
He's Patrick Mahomes, Zachary.
And he has looked like not Patrick Mahomes the whole start of the season.
Why are you going to a second overtime with this team? You really want a shootout with Caleb Williams?
There's a problem, Kurt.
Don't hate me. Hate the light pole. Don't hate me. Hate the light pole.
If you say the Bucks, it was the Lions. Whatever. They lost. Here's
Beautiful
why.
game, by the way.
Here's why they lost.
I have been on the Lions side since day one.
I keep breaking my chair.
Zach just went right
I'm
for
on
Joe's
NBC
chin there. Thanksgiving week is always my favorite week of football. November's in full force. Zach's still getting ready for the episode here. November's in full force. Football's in full force. Sitting around the table with family and friends, rooting against the Cowboys, waiting to see if the Lions will finally get to eat some turkey themselves for once, you know?
Let's go Lions.
Friday, Black Friday shopping. I never go, but watching Michigan battle it out against Ohio State in the game every year, catching the Egg Bowl and all the other wild rivalries of the rivalry weekend of college football, which always comes around Thanksgiving. Quiz time, Egg Bowl. Which one is it? It's Mississippi State.
Why is it the Egg Bowl?
State?
I have no idea why it's the Egg Bowl, to be honest, but it's always a weird game. Doesn't get much better than Thanksgiving week of football. Not only does it not get much better, we have some massive stakes for this weekend of college football.
We have turkey.
Oh, that's true. But with championship week coming up next week, there's a lot of close conferences right now. A lot of things could shake up this weekend. Welcome, football fans, to Under the Lights, episode 11. I'm your host, Ethan. To my left, as usual, that's Joe. To my right, that's Zach. Hopefully, you're all having a wonderful holiday week, but buckle in because we got football for you. We got some football talk for you. Speaking of Thanksgiving week, before we dive in here, I got to ask, what is your guys' favorite Thanksgiving food? It can be anything. It can be entree. It can be side.
This is it can
be a dessert.
There's two answers. There's two answers, and there's nothing else acceptable. It's those cheesy potatoes with corn flakes on it, and those are so good.
Do you know there's like 8 different names for those? Texas potatoes, party potatoes, funeral potatoes, cheesy potato. Dude, there's so many different names.
Funeral potatoes?
Yeah, that's actually a name for them. I'm not even kidding.
Right.
They call them different things like everywhere. It's weird. Continue.
And then pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie is so good.
I don't know if you guys are big casserole people. I'm a big green bean casserole guy, mostly because my mother makes an elite green bean casserole.
You could name any Thanksgiving food, and
Joe's at the table, baby.
Like you sign me up, dude. Man. I don't only just fill up the plate one time. I fill it up twice.
We love
just
that.
to make sure I get everything.
Are you guys stuffing guys? You like stuffing?
I like stuffing. What do you mean?
I'll tolerate stuffing, but there's a lot of other things I'm throwing.
It's got to be
plate.
dry though. It's got to be dry.
I hate a moist stuffing because I don't like moist bread. That's weird to me.
It's soggy. It's not as good.
Or like the carrot mash. I don't know what it actually is called. It's like it literally just looks like baby food. It looks like orange baby food.
Anything mashed, cooked up carrots, I'm cool without that.
That might be it. That very well could be it.
Zach just thinks it's carrots.
I think I'm stupid. I think I'm stupid.
Now, I'm a big green bean casserole guy. Anything potatoes is elite. Turkey or ham, I guess, is another good question.
Ham.
Ham?
Caleb's turkey is really good, but I'm more of a ham guy.
It depends on who cooks what.
Yeah.
But I prefer turkey over ham.
That's crazy.
If it's a really good smoked turkey with some like raspberry, a little over the top.
Do you prefer the darker meat on turkey?
Oh yeah, dark meat turkey for sure. It's juicier.
I'll eat. Come on now. I'm with Joe though. I'll eat pretty much anything on Thanksgiving.
I gotta get out of here.
I'll eat pretty much anything on Thanksgiving. Zach's mom's asking about Thanksgiving plans. Let us know down below.
I just found out what I was doing.
Let us know down below what are your guys' favorite Thanksgiving food is. We want to know. We want to know what your guys' is. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful wonderful holiday here. Before we get going, we want to ask you guys, if you're watching, hopefully you've made it to this point. Otherwise, you have an awful attention span. But either way, subscribe, scroll down, subscribe, hit the bell. If you're listening, well, I'll never hope that, but if you're listening over on podcast, follow over there, give it a rating. Let us know how you're feeling about these episodes. But with that said, we're going to get right into talking some football. We've got winners and losers per the usual. That's how we deliver our college football here. First winner, Washington has clinched their Pac-12 title spot, as we figured they would. But there's one more spot. There's one more spot up for grabs, and it gets a little bit tricky. First of all, Arizona has now won, I believe, 5 straight games. I think they've won 5 straight games. They are 6-2 in conference play. Oregon is 7-1. Okay, so you've got the final Civil War this weekend. Technically, that's not the name anymore, but that's the matchup between Oregon and Oregon State. If Oregon State is to win the matchup this weekend, then Arizona has to beat Arizona State as well. But if Arizona wins this weekend, Oregon loses to Oregon State, Arizona is now in the Pac-12 championship game, because Arizona and Oregon do not play each other. So it goes down to next common opponent. Both of them have lost to Washington, so that cancels out. So it goes to the next common opponent. That would be Oregon State. Arizona already beat Oregon State. So if Oregon is to lose to Oregon State and Arizona wins, they have to do that as well. Then we've got an Arizona versus Washington Pac-12 title game. Oregon just has to win. If Oregon wins, they're in. But man, we could get
Oregon's winning by 30.
We could still get a doomsday scenario there in the Pac-12.
Who would have thought? Honestly, the Arizona team would just rattle off a bunch of W's like they have. They've been known to be resilient in the past. I think this coaching staff has put a lot of work in on this team, especially like getting them to buy into like the Arizona culture.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of this coaching staff, in like week 4, I believe, we were talking about Jed Fish as being a clown coach when they were playing USC. You guys see the intro when I talk about a shootout with Caleb Williams. That's Jed Fish not knowing overtime rules of college football right there is what we were talking about. And now here he is with a chance to put Arizona in the Pac-12 championship for the first time in a long time heading into the Big 12. So I don't know. I think we all want to see Oregon versus Washington. I think we all want that rematch. But the fact that there is still on rivalry weekend a doomsday scenario for that conference is beautiful. That's college football. That's November college football right there.
Yeah, it's going to be a real shame if Oregon doesn't make it. If I don't get to see Bo Nix again play this Washington team, I'll be very sad.
Yeah, I think we all want the rematch on a neutral field. Also,
I don't think I'd watch the game. I don't think I'd skip the Pac-12 championship.
I'd still watch it, but either way, I love this because this is a prime example of divisionless conferences in college football. If the Pac-12 was put in divisions, likely Oregon, well, I mean, not necessarily likely, but probably Oregon and Washington would be in the same division. So with Oregon losing to Washington on the road, they would be out. They would be out. They wouldn't even be in contention to play in the game because they have that one loss. But instead, since it's divisionless, they have a chance still to win one more game and put themselves in and prove that on a neutral field, they can be the better team. That's crazy to me that someone like the Big Ten is not like that, because you're not going to see Ohio State, Michigan in a championship game. That's gross.
No rematches for teams like that. Big 12 has always been known for that as well, being divisionless. You know,
the best two teams
play the same team, again, is always a possibility.
Yeah.
And I love that fact, especially in the Pac-12, especially in their last year. I agree with Zach. I would love to see these two Heisman Trophy hopefuls battle it out in the Pac-12 championship to see who ultimately will probably make it into the college football playoff.
I guess that's not one of our questions. Does Oregon, if they win that, do they get in? Do they pick a Pac-12 Oregon with one loss over a one-loss Bama and Georgia? Do they pick them over a one-loss Ohio State, Michigan? I don't know. We'll see. But
I hope so.
I hope so too.
That would be pretty cool.
We have our first loser here. The SEC, around week 13 every year, has their paid bye week. They pay a less than ideal team to come into their home field. They pay them a lot of money and they kick the crap out of them every single year. Well, not the case for Auburn this weekend. Auburn lost their $1.8 million bye week. They were a 23.5 point favorite to New Mexico State, and they lost by 21 points.
That's embarrassing.
I don't have a lot to say there. That's embarrassing, but earlier in the season, we were talking about this Auburn team and about their inept offense, and I believe in this game, they threw for like 120 yards, and I don't think they threw for a touchdown. But so per the usual, they can't get anything going through the air, which is what Hugh Freeze was brought in for. We talked about earlier in the season whether or not the Tigers should be patient with Hugh Freeze. Now here we are. He's losing to New Mexico State. He's got the Tigers at 5 wins. They had to play Alabama for bowl eligibility. They might have 6 wins already, but either way, I think they're playing Alabama for bowl eligibility. Is Hugh Freeze 2 seasons in on an early hot seat?
Yeah.
I would say so for sure, especially in the SEC. You have to be winning ball games in order to get the recognition you deserved in the SEC. Mizzou has been a perfect example this year.
True. They look really good.
SEC. They have been not great, for the last, 10 years or so. But now they're stepping back in and they're becoming, maybe a perennial superpower if they can continue their success, obviously. But Auburn has always been known as a defensive juggernaut, plus the offense has always been able to be somewhat usable and, work around. But losing to New Mexico State definitely hurts, especially if you're an Auburn fan, and especially if you're looking at Hugh Freeze and you're like, man, do we give you another year at this point?
I hate to see a coach. I think his contract's only 3 seasons, so I would like to see him finish that out at least. I hate to see a coach go after 2 seasons because of the age-old. They don't have their team yet. They haven't been able to instill their full culture. By season 3 is where you should be seeing your most results because you've got 2 recruiting classes in. You've got the players developed that you want to develop. Your culture should be set in stone there. You should be getting guys to buy in by year 3. But the current college football era is different. You've got the transfer portal. You've got NIL. You can recruit differently. And you're in the SEC. You should not necessarily be progressing faster because you're playing in the SEC as well. You're not just in it. But realistically, you should be progressing faster than other college football coaches are allowed to because you have more tools. You have more weapons. I mean, where Auburn is at, down in Alabama, they should be able to recruit like crazy. You've got NIL, you've got some of the best sponsors in America. It can take you, but it shouldn't take you 3 seasons to develop any sort of an offense, and they have none.
Yeah. I feel like they'll probably finish out his 3rd season. I mean, because I feel like the buyout would be just too, it wouldn't make sense for them to buy him out for the last season. Just let him play the last season and, maybe they have some success and do something. But, I feel like they're at a point where they should at least be hitting a bowl game pretty easily and, hitting a stride and actually looking good on an offensive standpoint. And they're just like Duke, who just has a solid defense, but just can't pass the football to save their lives.
It's funny you say Duke because I was literally about to say if there's anyone they're going to go after, I think Auburn would be a perfect fit for Mike Elko down there in Duke. But it's weird that you said that because I was about to say that. But either way, I think Hugh Freeze is definitely on a hot seat. He's got at most this 3rd contract season to get something, anything going. You don't need to win the SEC, but you should be improving to that 8-9 win slot and be competing. Barely bowl eligible is not cutting it for what you were supposed to bring to this school. Regardless, we've got one more winner. The Heisman race might finally be narrowing down once and for all. We've got 2 guys. My numbers heading into this have now changed. We now have Jaden Daniels favored in the Heisman race at minus 125, and Bo Nix just behind him at plus 150. This weekend, their two performances, Bo Nix saw 404 yards and 6 touchdowns. Jaden Daniels, 413 yards, 6 touchdowns in the air, 96 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Broke Joe Burrow's single-game touchdown record at LSU.
Brother is crazy.
So
Yikes.
really what we're here for is to determine, who do we think wins this Heisman Award? Obviously, Daniels is favored right now. Their numbers are ridiculously similar. Jaden Daniels sitting at 3,577 yards passing, 36 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Bo Nix sitting at 3,539 yards, 35 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I want to give my 2 cents on my pick here. It's Jaden Daniels, but here's why. When you look at teams for like a college football playoff scenario, you look at their strength of schedule, their strength of wins. Bo Nix is playing great, yes, but he's got some of the best weapons in America. His one top 25 team he's played, he lost to. They don't have a single top 25 win. Oregon doesn't have one. So outside of that game against Washington, you're playing a bunch of below par Pac-12 defenses and tearing them up. Great, but the Pac-12 isn't known for defense, so you're going to put up those numbers. Jaden Daniels is playing in the SEC and putting up numbers like that. He put up numbers like that against Alabama. I mean, this dude is playing some of the best teams in the country. He has played 4 top 25 teams this season and beat 3 of them.
The where I think he's got the biggest edge that you didn't. I mean, he's got 1,000 rushing yards too.
Yeah, I didn't get the rushing yards.
Adds 10 more touchdowns in just rushing.
Yeah.
So he's got 46 total touchdowns.
That's crazy.
With only 5 turnovers because he fumbled it once. That's absurd. And like you're saying, he's going against some of the best defenses in the country consistently week to week, and he's still putting up these numbers. I think at some point, I think you kind of do have to look at record in some regards. Like in the NFL, like with MVP, if someone wins 16 games and loses 1 because it's 17 games, they're going to probably get it over someone who went 10-7. And I like Bo Nix a lot, and I think he should get it, but I'm not going to be shocked if Jaden Daniels gets it. I got to stick with Bo Nix because that's what I predicted when we did the whole prediction thing. So I'm gonna stick with Bo Nix, especially when he wins Pac-12.
There you go.
I am honestly surprised at Jaden Daniels' numbers, but also not so surprised because I remember early on in the season we were talking about this guy and how he was able to move the ball not only through the air but with his feet. Seeing it last week, of course, just absolutely going nuts all year. Absolutely going nuts. Why not? Another LSU guy. Win another Heisman here.
Why not?
Jaden Daniels at LSU is exactly what I thought Jordan Travis was going to be at Florida State this season. The dude is doing everything for his team. He's fun to watch. Very fun to watch. With that said, speaking of Jordan Travis, we've got another loser here. I don't want to call Florida State losers. He's not a loser, but Florida State advances to the ACC title game, but it's going to be without Jordan Travis. He had a leg injury this weekend. That's what it's been clarified to. I don't think they've really specified anything yet. Very gruesome injury that really sucks to see there. Exited the North Alabama game. They still managed to win that 56-10 or something. But Travis, he's lit up this season with 20 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions. I don't think he's fumbled it either. He also has 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns as well. So he's had an incredible season himself. I got a few questions here. The first one is, can Florida State still win the ACC? To me, I don't see why not. You're going to play probably Louisville in the championship game.
Probably.
Louisville's good, but Louisville has shown a lot of weaknesses. This Florida State team all around is still better than that Louisville team is. Backup quarterback Tate Rodemaker came in for Jordan Travis in that game, went 13 for 23. Not great on accuracy there, but 217 yards and 2 touchdowns. they've got a guy who can fill the gap. They've got a guy who can do what he needs to do from what it appears.
Yeah. They've got enough in him to be able to still win games because that offense is still really good. Like they've got talented running backs, they got talented receivers. Their O-line is good. They protect really well. But then on the flip side of the ball, their defense is solid. Like they force turnovers, they contain teams. Their coaching staff is really smart. It's obviously losing Jordan Travis is a huge loss, but like it's not gonna, I don't think, take them out of the ACC champ. I don't think it's gonna take them out of winning the ACC.
I don't know, man. This Louisville team has been rolling recently. They've been playing really good defense. They've been playing, pretty all right on offense, winning games. What do you mean? I gotta play devil's advocate.
I get you.
Obviously, this Florida State team isn't gonna be the same with backup. Whatever his name is, I'm sorry.
Tate Roadmaker.
I don't know how to say his last name.
He's
not
paving
Jordan
roads.
Travis. Not Jordan Travis, all right?
Yeah, he's paving roads to the ACC championship.
This Louisville team is healthy. Their defense looks solid. Why not? I think it'll be a great ACC championship tune-in. It'll be must-watch football.
To me,
I will agree with that. It will be a really good game.
To me, with this Florida State team, it comes down to leadership, especially with their coaching staff, especially with their head coach. Mike Norvell has this group wrapped around his finger. He's done incredible things down there. This Florida State team has, I think, the edge to me, talent-wise, against anybody they play right now in the ACC. They also have the edge on that staff. They have the edge and the ability to win games in different ways just based on the knowledge that is in that room, that is on that team. That's why I still think they have the edge over Louisville. But again, like Joe said, we'll see. Let's say they beat Louisville. They go to that title game, they beat Louisville. Here's a question kind of floating around college football right now. They beat Louisville. They're undefeated. They're 12-0. Does a undefeated Florida State team without Jordan Travis still get considered for the college football playoff? Because while they loosely look at stuff like that, they still look at stuff like that. My honest answer is yes, because they're 12-0. They won their championship game. They'd probably be one of just 3 12-0 teams. It'd be hard to not put them in there. But at the same time, they want to put the best matchups on the field. The committee looks at that. So I don't know.
I mean, they'll definitely get looks. Like you said, I mean, they're going to be a 12-0 team. They'll be looked at as the top team in the country. But I don't think that they could compete with the Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia. I don't think they can't compete with them without Jordan Travis. And I don't even think with Jordan Travis they can stay at the same level of some of those teams. They'll definitely get looks, but
I have to agree with both of you. I think it'd be hard not to look at this Florida State team, especially at 12-0, but, and that's a huge but, and a huge asterisk right next to it. We don't know Jordan Travis means, we'll see. We'll see if this Tate guy can be the guy, or we'll see, if he folds.
Here's a fun one. We're going to talk about this matchup here in a moment. But Louisville plays Kentucky this weekend. If Louisville beats Kentucky, Louisville is, I believe, 10-1. So Louisville goes to the championship game. They're 11-1. Does Louisville have any kind of look at the college football playoff if the right scenarios happen? Obviously, no. Louisville is not getting a look over a one-loss Bama. They're not getting a look over a one-loss Michigan. They're not getting a look over a one-loss Texas. So honestly, I've already answered my question. No. So never mind. That's not a fun one. I just answered my question. They have no chance.
I mean, they are a fun team to look at because of how hot they've been and how they've kind of just been, just winning ball games unquestionably. Like basically every game they've played recently.
But just no.
It'd be fun, but nah.
Yeah.
There's just too much competition on the top of the SEC and the Big Ten. Yeah. Partially the Big 12, it's.
Yeah.
It kind of just looks like the top teams, like the top 5-6 teams in the country are just so much better than everyone else.
Yeah.
it kind of like it's sad. It's kind of crazy to say, but like you look at it, they are like even top 8 because Alabama's sitting at 8. They're just in a tier above all these other guys. So like even when like if a Louisville were to somehow win the ACC or Florida State, like they can't compete with those top guys.
Yeah, it's a lot like college wrestling in a sense. You have like 5 really, really good wrestling programs, and there's nobody else.
And
that
then there's just the
stands a
other
chance.
ones.
Yeah, and none of those other meets are even close. But either way, that's why I love college hoops so much. But let's get to some spotlight features. It's rivalry weekend. We've got 5 games. Yeah, we've got 5 games to cover this weekend. We're going to go through these pretty quick here, up, down, give our picks. We've got the first one here. We've got number 20, Iowa, sitting at 9-2, going on the road to take on Nebraska at 5-6. Fun fact for you guys, Nebraska's favored by 1.5 going into this game. Another fun fact for you guys, Brock Purdy's little brother, Chubba Purdy, will be the starter for Nebraska.
He had 2 drives, and he had a 56, not 2 drives total, but he had a 56-yard touchdown run.
Yep.
And then the next drive threw for like 57 yards at a touchdown.
And then they didn't let him throw the ball the rest of the game.
And then he didn't do anything.
Yeah. No, that was very frustrating. They went from letting this kid absolutely cook to right back to Nebraska football, run the option a bunch. I think he threw the ball like 11 more times the entire game.
Something like that. Yeah.
What?
Dude,
anyway,
honestly, though,
the Heroes game. The Heroes game. Who do we got?
Give me Iowa by 50. Honestly,
Iowa can't score 50.
I don't care. Fine, give me Iowa by like 22.
I was gonna say Iowa by 1,000,000, but then I thought Iowa can't score even 20 points in a game. Why would they be able to score
22-0? 22-0.
Okay. Relax. But anyways, no, Hawks by 3.
I think 3-0 might be the final score, but either way, a game like this, you don't really have offenses. Iowa's a better defense, play the field position game, win 3-0. I'm going to take Iowa as well.
I think they get 2 pick sixes.
I think it's only right that Iowa's 10-2. They build a lot of hype going into the Big Ten title game, and then they lose
get smacked by Michigan.
700-0.
Whoa.
And Iowa
Iowa
fans pretend like they don't care. Anyway, we got
at this point, as an Iowa fan, I don't care. Remake it.
Here's my thing. I got a lot. There's a lot of Iowa fans.
There's
on Twitter
no point to the game then.
Talking a lot of trash. Everyone's pissed about the Hawks. No, we're not. We just want you to admit and accept that you are not actually proud of the fact that you were in the Big Ten title game if you lose 70-0. There is no way.
Hey, at least we're making it.
You are playing in the Big. You are playing in the Big Ten.
What's
West.
Iowa State doing?
You are playing in the Big Ten West. Iowa is the only team in the Big Ten West that is over 500.
Yeah, we're ranked.
That's gross. Anyway, we got our next matchup here for the Governor's Cup. We've got Louisville at 10-1, like I said, staying at home to take on Kentucky at 6-5. This one is normally a very interesting matchup. I'm sure it will be again. You got that Kentucky on Kentucky matchup there. I think Louisville could really struggle in this one. I think they could really struggle mostly against that Kentucky defense. Keep this game very low scoring. It's going to come down to those explosive plays. If it's a low scoring game, it's going to come down to those explosive plays. I think Louisville is more capable of making those specific plays. They're going to shut down that Kentucky pass like they do with every team they face, which already limits explosive plays right there. I think Louisville takes this one. I think they're 11-1 going into that ACC title game.
Yeah, this one I might take Louisville by 30. I don't like this Kentucky team. I really don't. Like their offense, it looks good, and their defense is all right. But like I feel like it's one or the other. They never have like both going at the same time. Their offense either looks really good, or their defense looks really good, or their offense looks really, really good, and their defense is just like, we're going to do enough to win the game. And, I mean, like Joe was talking earlier, this Louisville team is rolling. They look really good on both sides of the ball, and I think they take this one kind of handily.
I'm going to side more with Ethan on this one. I don't think it's going to be a blowout per se. I think it's going to be more of a defensive matchup, but I do agree that I think Louisville is the more explosive offense and can get and create more offense than I think this Kentucky team can. So yeah, give me Louisville by at least 10.
Like that. We've got the
solid.
Iron Bowl. It's given us a lot of interesting matchups over the years, but I'm going to be honest with you right now, it's not that team. It's not that team this year. This Auburn team is leaps and bounds behind Alabama. Alabama's hit an end-of-season stride. Auburn has regressed at the end of the season. I don't think this game's close. It is a 14.5-point spread, Alabama on the road. I might take that 14.5. Alabama. Give me Alabama.
Give me Alabama by 30.
Yeah.
I love it. We've got another one here. We've got that coveted Civil War, not the nickname anymore. A lot of stuff went on politically. They got rid of that nickname. I think it's a badass nickname.
It is kind of tough.
Anyway, we're not going to get into politics. Civil War. We've got number
Cowboys.
6, Oregon, 10-1. Staying at home to take on Oregon State at 8-3. Like we said, big stakes here. Not for Oregon State, though. Oregon State's just kind of the middleman here, but they want to win this game. Believe me, this is one of the dirtiest rivalries in college football. If you watch this game, they want to win this game. And Oregon wants to win this game just as bad. These two teams hate each other. To me, Oregon's a very, very complete team right now. They're very good at times on defense, but more than anything, they're very good on offense. They make those explosive plays 2 or 3 times every drive. This team's just got the pieces. They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. Bo Nix is up there for that Heisman. Oregon State does not have what it takes to contain what this Oregon team can be. They almost took Washington in the rain last week, but I think we got sunny skies this weekend. So give me Oregon in this game.
I'm going to say it. I said it once, said it twice. I'm going to say it. I've said it 3 times. I'm going to say it 4 times. Give me Oregon by 30.
Okay. Joe, what do we got?
I really like the coverage that you did on this this pick here, Ethan, but I just I think this Oregon team is that Oregon team, and this Oregon team is going to walk into the Pac-12 championship and they're going to win that thing. They're going to beat Washington this time.
Come on. Talk about it. Keep talking.
They're going to make it into the playoff. Watch them.
Joe's predicting next week's games.
Yeah, man.
I think we all got Oregon
this
in
week,
this one.
I'll predict this week's game. I'll predict next week's game. I'll predict the college football championship semifinals, and then I'll predict the college championship.
What I don't agree with
Oregon by 30
is Oregon is a 13.5-point favorite. I think this game is closer than 2 touchdowns, but we'll see. Maybe
not. Give me the cover.
I'd say 10 points.
10 points. 10 points is fine. I don't think this is a 2-touchdown game, but we'll see. Just because of the rivalry, these two teams don't ever finish that far from each other, but we'll see. We've got the game. We've got number 2 Ohio State at 11-0 going on the road to the Big House to take on number 3 Michigan. I don't think we really need to explain this game. It's Marvin Harrison Jr. versus Blake Corum. It's 2 unathletic white quarterbacks. It's it's the Harbaugh suspension. It's the chips on the shoulders. These two teams hate each other. There are not another 2 teams in college football that hate each other more than these two. Genuinely hate each other. Texas and Oklahoma is probably close. There's been bloodshed in this rivalry a lot of times, and it's always high stakes. We've got 2 teams fighting to go to the playoff right now. They might both go regardless, but we've got 2 teams fighting to go to the playoffs right now. This is a big one. I'm gonna let you guys pick first because I'm on the fence.
Give me Michigan, bro. I like this Michigan offense is clicking. They played Penn State, and J.J. McCarthy did next to nothing. And Blake Corum put up like 100 and some odd, 115 yards or something like that. And I just don't know how you beat this Michigan team. They're so freaking good everywhere you look. They got talented receivers. They got a talented quarterback. They got a talented running back. Their coaching staff is fantastic. Obviously, he's gone. But, bet.
Dude, that Michigan
Give
stuff.
me Michigan.
That Michigan
Give me
stuff's
Michigan.
getting deep, man. They fired their assistant coach for destroying evidence. That's crazy. Anyway, Joe, what's your pick?
I respect the Michigan pick because of all the Jim Harbaugh stuff that's going
Don't
on.
piss me off, Joe.
Obviously, Jim Harbaugh is a great head coach, and it's not like every other college football program isn't doing this in college football, obviously. So why is he being suspended? Anyways,
Because he pissed off the NCAA, Joe.
Yeah, well, screw those
It's
guys.
like tax evasion. If it's minor, they're not going to get you unless you piss them off. Anyway, continue.
Anyways, that being said,
That's facts.
I think Ryan Day has something to prove this year.
That he's a bad coach?
I like that, actually.
I think he
He's
has
got a
something to prove
chip.
this year, and I think he has to. This is his championship team. They are playing lights out defensively. They have been holding, very good offenses to not being very good. Obviously, their offense isn't quite as great as it could be, but they do enough to win ball games. I think, and Zach said he doesn't know what can stop this Michigan's team. I think this Ohio State defense can. I think they can find a way to stop the run effectively and bottle up J.J. McCarthy. Kyle McCord's going to throw for a couple touchdowns. Travion Henderson's going to run for 150 yards.
I like it. You got Ohio State, Joe?
Ohio State. Give me the Buckeyes. OHIO, baby.
I'm going to piggyback off of a few thoughts there. Both teams got chips, man. Both teams got chips on their shoulders. Michigan's getting punished right now, like Joe said, for stuff that every team across the country has done. They've dug themselves a bigger hole, which doesn't help. But Ryan Day's got a chip on his shoulder. You got to remember, Michigan went to the shoe last year, and Michigan won this game by a heaping helping and a half. Ohio State wants to kick their ass this year. Here's the difference. This ain't the Ohio State team of old. This Ohio State team's got a defense. This Ohio State team wins games physically. This Ohio State team has a whole different attitude than any Buckeye team you've ever seen. Not only that, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be the difference in this game. If Marvin Harrison Jr. has a good day, you've got a shot. If he doesn't, I don't see it. You are going to live and die by that man right there. With that said, I think Michigan can shut down Marvin Harrison Jr. I think Michigan has the pieces on offense. I think you're going to see Blake Corum have a ballistic day. You're at home, big stakes. Michigan gets to that championship game. They get Harbaugh back. Michigan makes a big late season run. I am going to take Michigan to win back-to-back in the game.
It's also in Michigan.
It is.
No one has beaten Michigan in Michigan ever.
Well,
ever again. In the world.
No one's
ever
done it.
Ever. No one's ever done it. No one's ever going to do it.
Either way. I don't
I'm
know.
pretty sure Ohio State used to beat them up in the big house all the time.
Here's the thing. This is going to be a beautiful football game.
It's going to be great.
I think you're going to see just a fantastic game here. I don't care who wins it because we might get the game of the year in this one. I'm excited. Let's see how it goes, but I'm taking Michigan here. We've reached the halfway point, which means college football's done. In the past few weeks, we would have done halfway heaters here, but we don't have any hot takes this week. You guys let us down. You guys let us down. You know that? Because you didn't give us hot takes this week. If you want us to bring back halfway heaters, where we take your guys' hot takes, we discuss them and we rate them, give us hot takes. Go down to the comments down below. Give us your best takes. College football, NFL, broad football takes. Doesn't matter. It can be from this week. It can be from 1972. Give us your hot takes. We want to go over them. You guys, don't let us down. We'll get back to that next episode. But with that said, we're gonna get right into NFL talk. Zach, it's your time to shine here, baby. Lions mounted a comeback win against the Bears this weekend. First of all, before I get into this, Zach, I was terrified about the Bears winning that game because I didn't want.
I was almost in tears.
I didn't.
Just so we're all. On the
I didn't know if I wanted to see the
game.
Zach that we got if the Lions lost to Justin Fields.
The Zach wouldn't have been here. Wouldn't have been here.
They mounted a late game comeback to improve to 8-2, which is significant.
For the
We'll
first
get to
time
that.
in 1962.
Or as our bottom bar says, for the first time since your grandfather can remember. First time since the NFL merger. Lions win 31-26 after being down 26-14 late to spoil Justin Fields' return. First of all, Justin Fields, this dude,
His fault.
I was watching this game with my father, and I literally told him how bad Justin Fields is in the clutch, and I said, I guarantee you there is a turnover coming up, and the Lions are going to win this game. And that's exactly what happened. The Lions improved 8-2, obviously, first time in 60 years. David Montgomery in his return to Chicago, 76 yards, game-winning touchdown.
Game-winning touchdown.
Only question I got, Zach, how we feeling about the Lions, man?
Keep talking. No. Keep talking. Keep praising them.
I have one more thing, actually. The Vikings lost this weekend, so the Lions are pretty much a lock for that division at this point.
Oh, my gosh.
But either way, Zach,
weren't we calling that at the beginning of the year?
Yes.
I've been calling it since last year.
Zach, how we feeling right now about the Lions?
Honestly, the biggest thing is they had 5 turnovers as a team and won this game. Jared Goff had 3 interceptions. They had 2 fumbles, and they still won this game.
Still won.
That's absurd.
That's
absurd.
Baby.
And only forced 2 turnovers. They had a fumble, sort of late the game, and then Justin Fields sucks and fumbles the ball at the end of the game. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I'm at a loss. They were so good. Jared Goff had 100 in the last 2 drives, had 147 yards passing. 147. Jared Goff, I love you. I hated you in the first half and the third quarter, and pretty much most of the fourth quarter.
I want an honest answer here. I've got the Lions schedule pulled up. The Lions face. Here's the rest of their schedule.
We're winning now.
Lions have
the Packers, the Cowboys,
at home.
The Packers.
You're off. You got the Packers at home.
I wasn't going.
You've got the Saints on the road. Then you've got the Bears on the road. Then you've got Broncos at home, Vikings on the road, Cowboys on the road, and then Vikings at home.
What am I worried about?
If there's any of those you think you're losing, what could it be? I think Cowboys on the road is a tough game. Cowboys on the road is a tough game. You have to beat the Vikings 2 times in 3 weeks.
Who cares? They got freaking a rocket scientist who can't throw a ball past 25 yards. They got to. We're not worried about that. They don't have a run game. The Lions are one of the best run-stopping teams in the league. Unless someone has a running quarterback, then they just get crapped on for no reason.
Might have Jay Jettas back.
Who cares? Okay. We're gonna have CJ Gardner-Johnson back.
So do you
honestly?
Do you genuinely believe you're winning out?
The only team I am somewhat nervous about is the Denver Broncos. They look scary.
Yeah. Roll. The theme of the episode is rolling, and the Denver Broncos are
rolling.
They are doing that. 4 straight, baby. 4 straight. We'll get to that.
If the Lions play like they played this week, I think they struggle more against they'll struggle against the Vikings in one of the games. They always do. Green Bay will be a cakewalk because they suck. The Broncos, if they play like they did last week, this week they'll struggle because Denver's for some reason good again.
Russ is back, baby. Let him cook.
Broncos country, let's ride.
They're riding. Pause. But they're doing. Honestly, that's the game I'd be. If that game was in Denver, I'd be more nervous. But it's in Detroit. Obviously, I say the Dallas one I'm not worried about, but it's a nervous one.
So you think realistically the Lions could finish as at least a 14-win team? I'm still saying that Cowboys game is a really tough game, but that's assuming you only lose one more. You're saying the Lions should be at least a 14-3 team.
Yes, I think they drop 1, maybe 2. And I think the only reason they would drop 2 is because Jared Goff is he'll just have a terrible game like he did last week.
Yeah.
But he does bounce back really well.
They're way overperforming. The Lions were projected at 8.5 wins.
Yeah, they're the best team in the NFL. They're the best team in the NFL.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? We would have thought. We praise this Lions team.
Who would have thought that 3 years ago that the Detroit Lions would be 8-2, the Cleveland Browns would be 7-3, and the Jacksonville Jaguars would be 7-3?
I don't think anybody would have thought that. I don't think anybody.
Me. Only about the Lions, because I don't care about the other two teams. Lions by 40 the rest of the year.
Joe, you said it. The theme of the episode is rolling. The Broncos are doing exactly that. They have won 4 straight with a Chiefs loss tonight against the Eagles on Monday Night Football. Broncos would be just 1 game back in that division.
Won't happen. They should be 3 games ahead in the division.
We're going to get this episode going so we can watch that game. But that said, Broncos are rolling. They beat the Vikings largely off of a Josh Dobbs late interception. Beat them 21-20. Or, yeah, it was an interception in the red zone, and then they went and scored. Yeah. Here's the tough thing with the Broncos. They're rolling right now. They're a game back from the Chiefs. But they've got one of the hardest schedules in the NFL.
They don't play the Chiefs again. They played the Chiefs twice.
They already played twice.
Yes. Luckily, I don't have to Google this schedule. I know it off the top of my head, aka my notes. Their remaining schedule is versus the Browns. They go on the road to take on the Texans. They go on the road to take on the Chargers. On the road to take on the Lions. A 3-game road stretch against 3 really good teams right now. They are at home against the Patriots, at home against the Chargers, and then they go on the road to take on a surging Raiders team.
Ew.
Dude,
I hate the Raiders. They're so bad.
Why
are they winning games? Why? Aiden O'Connell sucks. I don't get it.
Because they're Antonio Pierce, man, or Anthony Pierce.
It's so gross.
He's letting that team do what they do.
So gross.
Either way, really tough schedule.
The dogs.
Can they keep rolling with this schedule and maybe sneak around and win this division?
No.
Why not?
The Chiefs are going to win this division.
Chiefs got a tough schedule too.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
You're that confident we're not going to revisit this in a few weeks?
We'll revisit it, and I'll still think it's going to be the Chiefs.
Okay.
I don't hate the Chiefs, but I don't want them to win the division. But who else? It's not going to be Denver. They're not going to. No.
I would be broken if the Denver Broncos won the division this year. I'm not going to lie.
I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I would be broken.
It's definitely not what we would have expected.
It would be completely out of the Chiefs' character to start losing ball games, especially after the bye week. That being said, Andy Reid is known for being one of the best head coaches of winning after a bye week.
He's the best, dude.
Chiefs,
and they play the Eagles.
Chiefs dub this weekend, tonight, just so everyone's aware.
Oh, now you're on the Chiefs bandwagon again.
Bandwagon?
Hey,
like he's not a fan.
All I needed was the bye week. All I needed was the bye week.
3 weeks ago, how they shouldn't have beaten the Vikings, how they shouldn't have beat the Jets, how
Andy Reid
they shouldn't have beat the Jets.
Andy Reid is one of the greatest coaches of all time off of bye weeks.
I don't care. Give me Jalen Hurts by 50.
Nope.
Go ahead, try to contain him. Go ahead, try to contain him. You won't.
Jalen Hurts?
He's been throwing picks right and left the last couple weeks
and still winning.
I don't know if you guys watch New Heights, the Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce podcast, but they were talking. They have at Buffalo Wild Wings. At Buffalo Wild Wings, they have a watch party in Philadelphia. And they're doing a drinking game at this watch party, right?
Oh,
and
gosh.
They're doing a drinking game. Some of their things were like, take a shot every time Mama Kelsey's announced. Take a shot every time they have like the dual cam of Travis and Jason. Take a shot every time Taylor Swift is announced. It's like, you are going to kill Philadelphia. You better hope they take these people's keys before they get to the door.
They better be taking a shot of water. Good
my
Lord.
Goodness.
Taylor Swift was mentioned. Put it in the thumbnail.
Should be. Yeah, she was. Should be a beautiful game. Let's talk 49ers. Let's talk Brock Purdy, actually.
I'm good to skip it.
Brock Purdy had the first perfect passer rating as a 49ers quarterback since Joe Montana this weekend. He went 21 for 25, 333 yards, 3 touchdowns. The check down Kings, 3 touchdowns, were all 20-plus yards and 10-plus yards in the air for each of them. Here's my question. Is Brock Purdy back in the MVP talks? Why, Zach?
He's not the most valuable player on his team.
Why not?
Because the 3 games that they were without Debo, Christian McCaffrey full healthy, they lost.
Correct, they lost. He was without his weapons. He still was He still was right there. He led a game-winning drive in the one. He led his team in rushing in the game where McCaffrey struggled. He was doing his part in all of those games.
That game-winning drive shouldn't have been a thing if he wouldn't have thrown his interceptions.
Still put him right back there. Who's the most valuable player on this team? McCaffrey, who hasn't ran. Debo's catching like 4 passes a game right now.
Just like you said, Debo comes back. It opens up Brandon Ayuk. It opens up Christian McCaffrey. It opens up George Kittle.
Debo's impact on opening up teammates is big. Yes.
It shows.
That does not make him the most valuable player.
It's not.
It's not McCaffrey. I'll let you guys know McCaffrey hasn't rushed for over 100 yards since we talked about him winning MVP. Which sucks. It's not Brock Purdy. Which sucks, by the way.
Brock Purdy can be put in the top 5 of the MVP conversation.
He can be put in the top 10.
You guys are gross. Here's your favorite. Here's your favorite for MVP, Patrick Mahomes. 2,442 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Here's your second. Here's your second place.
Top team in the AFC.
Brock Purdy's also winning his division, top team in the NFC. Anyway, Jalen Hurts.
They're number like 4.
Jalen Hurts is number 2. 2,347 yards, 15 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Mahomes is 3rd in QBR. Hurts is 6th in QBR. Not only does Brock Purdy have more yards than both of them, he has more touchdowns and less interceptions. 2 of his interceptions are on Hail Marys at the end of a game. So let's just say he's got 3 of them. He hasn't fumbled the ball this season either. I don't count 2 of his numbers because he plays on the Dolphins. Let's talk about strength of schedule as well. 49ers are 4th in the league in strength of schedule. The Eagles are 10th. The Chiefs are 28th, and the Dolphins are 30th.
I have a question.
What's up, Joe?
Where's Lamar Jackson on this list?
That's
Lamar
what
Jackson
I'm about to say.
Doesn't really do anything. I love Lamar, but his numbers aren't comparable. And he's not really running the ball this season either. Lamar's like 8th in MVP odds.
Their offense is clicking.
Correct. But even he'll say in his interviews that he's not doing anything.
I'm going to say it. The fact that you didn't say CJ Stroud at all in that is ridiculous.
Okay.
CJ Stroud should be ahead of Brock Purdy.
I was hoping you would bring up CJ Stroud.
No. I don't care. Don't throw stats at me. That team was supposed to be a 3-win team.
I will throw stats at you. Why is it a problem when Brock Purdy has a 3-interception game? CJ Stroud just did the same thing.
That one game. How many interceptions have you thrown before? And that team was supposed to be a 3-win team and is now currently winning their division. And he's put up 500-some yards with Tank Dell and something Brown. Is it Noah Brown?
Noah Brown.
Like that.
Brock Purdy.
Literally who? Who's the running back?
Brock Purdy has the best statistics
who's the running back?
Brock Purdy has the best quarterback statistics in the league.
Wrong. He's hurt.
Brock Purdy has the best quarterback statistics in the league.
Dameon Pierce and Devin Singletary are his running backs. Brock Purdy is throwing to Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey.
Okay, and?
I'd hope you're putting up that many yards with that. It's the same argument with like Patrick
Brock
Mahomes.
Purdy's the one delivering the ball. Brock Purdy's the one throwing perfect 25-plus yard passes. He's got...
You put Zach Wilson in that, he could do the same thing.
No, he couldn't. Zach Wilson's now a 3rd stringer on the Jets. Anyway, Brock Purdy has the highest pass accuracy on 25-plus yard throws, not just this season, since the NFL merger. He has the highest pass accuracy on 25-plus yard throws since the merger.
Brock Purdy's not my MVP, and it's not even close.
Guess who's not accurate on 25-plus yard throws? Lamar Jackson's not accurate on those throws. CJ Stroud is not accurate on those throws.
We're looking at CJ Stroud, who can do everything. He is literally running away every single play. He's Justin Fields, but accurate.
Congrats.
He runs the football. He runs away from everybody. He has no weapons. He has no offensive line. His defense is meh. That's the other thing. Is like if their defense, if the 49ers defense doesn't play as well as they do in those games that Brock Purdy looks shaky, they're not in those games. They're not in a situation to be able to even have Brock Purdy go down and make that last-second drive if that defense doesn't step up. If that defense doesn't step up, they're not there.
The 49ers defense in that 3-game losing stretch was rated 26th in the league in total defense.
Sure, but in the time that they needed to step up, they did. And when Brock Purdy needed to step up, he threw an interception or he threw a bad pass out of bounds.
Brock Purdy still had good enough games in all of those to win the game, and pieces just did not fall.
I would argue. I would say in the field goal game, sure. The other two, no.
I think you're wrong.
Brock Purdy being an MVP is crazy.
Why?
He's not up there with Patrick Mahomes. He's not up there with Lamar Jackson. He's not up there.
He's up there. He's above everybody you've said so far statistically against a harder schedule.
Look at the who's winning games. Patrick Mahomes has lost twice.
Brock Purdy's winning games too.
Once.
Brock Purdy's winning games
once. Jalen Hurts has lost once.
Correct.
Brock Purdy has lost 3 times, lost his weapons, and lost 3 straight games.
Okay. Name any quarterback who has won without weapons.
CJ Stroud, right now.
Congrats. CJ Stroud is beating middle of the pack teams just barely. CJ Stroud against the 49ers right now loses by 25 points. I promise.
Sure. Yeah, probably. But I guarantee you.
I bet they make him look silly. I bet the Jaguars make him look silly. We're going to see that this weekend.
Is doing this with no weapons, exactly like you're saying, and it's a bad thing.
When the Jaguars make him look silly this weekend, we'll talk, baby. Teams, I think Brock Purdy's at least in the conversation.
He's in the top 7. Maybe.
That's gross. That's gross. Anyway, let's get on to Parlay Party.
Oh, that's crazy.
Let's get on to Parlay Party. We got some gross games this weekend. We've got.
Man, I'm gonna get attacked by Iowa State fans.
Parlay Party.
I still like Brock Purdy, just not as an MVP. Settle down, everybody.
I think he's a candidate. Anyway, Parlay Party. We sit down. We're gonna build you a NFL winners parlay out of NFL games this weekend. We're gonna pick spreads. We're gonna pick winners. We're gonna try to give you a juice pick as well. What do we got? What's standing out?
Honestly, the first thing that I looked at was Eagles -3.5. I think the Bills suck. They never play up to their competition.
Yeah.
They struggle against good teams. They're just like the Dolphins. They struggle against really good teams. And also the fact that you didn't mention Tua and the MVP is also crazy. But anyway, we're moving on.
30th strength of schedule. He has terrible numbers against any team in the top 20.
Boys.
Look at his numbers against the Bills. Look at his numbers against the Eagles. Look at his numbers against the Raiders, dude. Terrible. Anyway. Yeah, I like Eagles, but I like Eagles money line just because I think that could be a field goal win, and if it's a field goal win, 3.5 doesn't hit. So I like Eagles money line.
I'm down with that.
One I've got highlighted here: Titans against the Panthers. There, I don't know if I like Titans -4 because again, a game this late in the season against two teams like this could be a field goal game. But Titans at home, I think they can take down the Panthers.
I will also agree with Titans money line on that one.
All right, we got Titans money line. We got Eagles money line.
Ravens. I like the Ravens against the Chargers.
I was also going to say
Ravens on the road.
I think their defense is just too good. That defense travels, and I think they beat up this Chargers team.
Yeah, I'd take them to cover that, especially after this week when the Chargers struggled against and then lost to the Packers.
You take them -4 on the road?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go Ravens -4. Ravens -4. Eagles money line. We've got Titans money line as well. That's 3 of them.
The other one, I don't want to. I hate this one as a pick, simply because I like the other team, but I think I think the Steelers win by 1.5 because there's no Joe Burrow. I don't think that offense is that good without him.
No, I think you're right.
But I hate that. I hate that as a person.
We can go Steelers 1.5 for sure. We still need. So now we're down to our juice pick.
Saints over the Falcons.
I was going to say that or the Giants over the Patriots.
I've got a question mark by the Raiders at home against the Chiefs. I've got a question mark by it. Don't gotta go with it.
If anything, I would take Raiders just +9.
No,
but I
that's
don't.
not a juice pick. That's just playing
It's
it
not.
safe for the spread.
I don't think the Raiders win that game at all.
Saints Falcons, I do definitely like, just because this game's always close.
Give me Tommy DeVito, baby.
I kind of like the Bucks on the road against the Colts. The Colts are a shaky team.
Shaky.
That's also true. The juice one is kind of hard because I feel like there's a lot of options.
Dude, these games suck. The easier games to pick are on Thursday afternoon.
Like even the Browns and Broncos. Like I like the Browns to win that game, but I also like the Broncos. But I like the Browns at home.
Browns are on the road.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I starred that Browns one as well, just because I think the Browns could definitely be the team to stop that hot streak for the Broncos.
And I'm gonna say it, even though you're not gonna agree with it. I'm taking Texans by 30.
Gross.
Trevor Lawrence sucks. He's one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL.
Trevor Lawrence does not suck, dude.
He's
disgusting.
mediocre right now.
He's middle of the pack.
Is not good.
He's middle of the pack, but there's only 32 quarterbacks. It's not like they're not all pretty good at playing football.
And Trevor Lawrence might be in the 20 to 25 range.
Nah,
I think he's 15 to 20 probably.
Sucks.
I don't know. I like the Browns. I like the Browns to stop that Broncos winning streak. Just defense alone. Miles Garrett's been playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
Good.
My two favorites would be the Browns and the Falcons.
Deshaun Watson is also now out for the season, which scares me with a hot Broncos team.
Hey, DTR played pretty well.
He did, but
play.
If the Broncos happen to get hot for any reason, can the Browns stick with that without Deshaun Watson? I don't think
Probably
this
not.
Browns defense is giving up more than 20 points to anybody this season. So it's not like you're going to have a shootout, but I don't know. This juice pick is tough for me because it's a lot of close spreads too. So like,
games.
I almost want to veer back to that Saints Falcons.
I feel most confident in the Saints Falcons, to be honest with you.
Saints on the road, take that one.
Yeah, give me Dennis Allen over Artie Smith here.
I like it.
Yeah.
So we've got Ravens -4. We've got Eagles money line. We've got Saints over the Falcons, Saints money line. We then have the Titans money line, and we said Steelers -1.5.
Yeah.
Sounds like our 5. That is our 5 there. What's a garbage shoot? For me, it's Patriots Giants. I don't want anything to do with a Patriots-Giants spread game, anything.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
Yeah, I don't want. Also, Cardinals-Rams.
Especially with how both teams are playing right now, it's tough to gauge how that game's going to go.
Cardinals are in desperation mode, and I think the Rams are in desperation mode. So,
yeah, that's fair.
Cardinals, Rams, Patriots, Giants. Don't touch those games.
I would say any of the games that we didn't pick, don't touch them. They're kind of scary.
Yeah, I like those picks. That is gonna do it for episode 11 of Under the Lights. If you want to tail our picks, don't be a maniac. Tail them as straights. Don't tail the parlay. If you're gonna tail the parlay, lower your unit size. Go the straights and then lower your unit size. Throw a parlay in there. Throw it at like 50 cents. Only bet what you can afford to lose. Have fun. We're just here to have fun. We don't want to get you guys in any trouble. Only bet what you can afford to lose. If you need help, there's numbers out there. Call them. Get the help you need. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, we ask once again, subscribe, ring the bell, get those notifications so you don't miss an episode. If you're listening over on podcast, follow over there, give it a rating. Let us know overall how you feel. Let us know how you feel about the episodes. You like them? Is there something we should improve? Is there a segment we can add? Something you want us to talk about? Talk about all of it. We'll throw it in the episode. Let us know. We just want feedback from you guys. Likely, we are probably not going to be live Thursday. I'm not going to force these guys on Thanksgiving to talk about. I think the night game is like a Commanders game. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to force these guys to come on Thanksgiving and talk football, which means no hoops this week either.
No, it's 49ers Seattle.
Okay, either way. So yeah, probably no Thursday live and probably no hoops episode on Friday either, but that's fine. Hopefully we still get our picks out so our records can keep changing there. We're getting to the end of spread to spread, but that's all we got. That's all we got for episode 11, and hope you guys enjoyed. We're gonna see you guys probably next week. Love it. Peace.